Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Trent T. Daniel back with another edition of Mastering the Markets, the show created specifically to keep you from becoming a broke ass trader. There are way too many of them out there. We're here to make sure you don't become one of them. Before we do anything, what do I ask you to do? If you like these videos, if you want more, subscribe, do that kind of thing and just let everybody know you like and that you want to subscribe. We're going to get back into the lesson about support and resistance. I talked about that in the last video. So now I want to talk to you about what do I actually do when I get those alerts. So let me just go back here and just give you a quick refresher of what we talked about. We were discussing, let me share my screen with you. All right, we were discussing the support and resistance zones that I went and identified. So basically I went to my daily chart. I scroll back, I get a good bird's eye view of the market, and then I come in and I create support and resistance zones based on the most obvious movements in price, such as a reflection back, push down, such as this, or a push up. Even one like this or these two are just fine. Okay, so now, and once I set these alerts, remember I drew my horizontal line, I right clicked on it and I set an alert. So let's just say I've gotten the alert. Okay, and for sake of this lesson, and a lot of times in videos like this, you see guys like they set up and they kind of cherry pick a certain situation and show you exactly that. And I understand why they do that, and that's cool. And I'll be doing that in some, but in this one, I'm going to just kind of let you see we're at real time right now with this right here. And this is Saturday evening, so the market is closed. But I'm going to take you back right to this time frame to show you what I would do when I actually got that alert. So let's just get our handy little tool here that's going to take us back in time. And we'll go right before that. And so I've gone in and I've identified this as a major zone because of the movement here. Again, I haven't gotten to this yet. So I went through and it probably would have been a little bit, well, you know what? No, that's fine. It would have been like that. And it would have stretched back here to capture that touch there, that one there. So this was certainly a zone of support. So I set my alert because I want to know when the price gets into that zone. So let's see what happens here, okay? So we click into that. Okay, so now the price has gotten into that zone. All right, and I'll zoom in on that a little bit for you. Okay, so the price has gotten into that zone. So I got the alert, okay, and I actually got the alert when this bar closed. I set it to happen on bar close and not just when it goes in case it pulls back out. So once this bar closes in this zone, now my attention has been drawn to this because I know, okay, something could happen here. Now, here's what I'm anticipating. I'm anticipating the price to bounce off of this zone and push back up because that's what it's done in these other instances. And even if you go back even farther, you can see price reaction here, a little bit of spikiness, but as it kind of went on and on, it got more concrete, and then you started to see that. So I'm pretty confident that this will turn around and reverse this way, but my confidence means nothing in the markets. The markets do not listen to me, but I have to listen to them. Okay, so what I'm doing is looking at this, and I'm really interested to see what's going to happen on the next bar. Now, even if I go down to the lower time frame, I'm still in that zone with the price. But as you can see on my 1 hour time frame, I did get a little bit of a green bar here. So I got a little push back up. But again, I highly recommend you guys trade off of the daily and the 4 hour charts. The 1 hour chart is okay, but anything below that, it just moves too fast. It's too volatile. Unless you're looking to scalp and pick up some money on the 2 minute chart, the 5 minute chart, even the 1 minute chart, that's fine. But I won't be doing a lot of lessons on those because really I don't perform well on the lower time frames. I think I don't have the patience sometimes, and it just moves, and I don't like to just sit there and watch and so I just like higher time frames because the higher time frames are better purpose for the price action coming to me as opposed to me going to it. Okay, but that's just a little side note. So I'm going to go back up to my 4 hour chart here, and I'm going to kind of go between this one and my daily. All right. So I see that on my daily chart, there was a pretty aggressive move. You see all these long red candles. So over the course of this 1, 2, 3, well, I can actually do this quicker. Over the course of these bars here, which was 12 days. Okay. I really got a good perspective on what's going on in the markets as far as this entering into this zone of support. And it was a pretty drastic drop. A lot of red candles is kind of a confirmation for me that this price is going to reject back up from here because it came down with a lot of momentum. Just picture if you drop a brick off of the top of the building, it's going to build that momentum. Now that brick is not going to bounce at all, but let's say you did a basketball. If it doesn't flatten, it's going to bounce up pretty hard. Okay. So I'm pretty sure that this is going to do that. But again, what I'm sure means nothing. So I go down to a lower time frame. And then on the lower time frame, I see that it fell into there, but it kind of came here, had some velocity, then kind of slowed down, then dropped some more, kind of rebounded up. So the 4-hour and the daily chart combined tell me a pretty good story that, yes, there is a lot of potential for a bounce here, but is it going to be a really strong major bounce like the ones that we've identified earlier where the price just rejected all the way down? Or is it going to be something kind of like this where it just kind of bounces within a range? So again, all my attention is focused on this area here. And you see how easy it makes it, guys, for me to do this because I'm not trying to figure everything out at one time. I'm filling in pieces of the story as these bars fill in, okay? But they are telling me a story. So what this is telling me is there's potential for a bounce. Now, the question is, where is that bounce going to happen? And what am I going to do if it does happen? Well, the first thing I have to do is let time pass by. I have to be patient. So let's go ahead another 4 hours and see what happened. Okay, I see a green bar here. And while I see a green bar, typically in my area of support, the first bar that closes green, I want to go ahead and take an order to a buy order. I want to go ahead and buy into that position. But I'm not going to do that just yet because you see this bar, and let me zoom in real quick, right? Let me zoom in for you here. You see, this bar doesn't look like this one. This wick, see this little part hanging off the bottom of the body of this red bar? See, that means that there was price rejection. So that means the price got down here and it was aggressively pushed up. If you look at the one before it, it has an even bigger wick to it. Okay, and I'll go into a lesson later on about candles and wicks and all that stuff like that. But this is really self-explanatory stuff here. You see this long wick here. So again, price rejection. There was another one, green bar. So you got a lot of price rejection. And then when this green bar showed here, it's a flat bottom, which means it's pushing up, but there was no rejection of the price. It was just a natural movement upwards. So instead of going ahead and jumping in on a long trade here, which I'm pretty certain I'm going to go long, I want to see what's going to happen because this flat bottom tells me it could do just like this one here. You see this green one where it was a flat bottom and then it went up and then it just went down, down, down. But then and then you had this price rejection, then it went down again. So it tells me there is a lot of downward pressure coming into this zone. So this may not be the optimal point for me to take this long trade, but I'm pretty certain I'm going to take one. So let's go forward and see what happens. You see, the price went down and it rejected. It created another one of those wicks. So now I'm getting even more confident that I'm going to need to go ahead and take a long trade here. But guys, remember, this is the course of over 12 hours, just these 3 bars, okay? It's the patience game. You have to let it come to you, but I'm going to show you just how much money can be made if I'm right and if this thing does reject, okay? So I'm pretty confident now that I see that wick that I'm going to go ahead and take a long position here. But let me just go ahead and wait out another 4 hours and let a bar close. Now I'm all over it, okay? You see this green bar here? So I will go ahead and put in my trade there. Now I'm just going to mark that with another horizontal line here, guys. Okay, and I'm going to change the color so you don't think of that support resistance and just put it as a, well, I don't want to do that pink. Let's do something cooler. Okay, so I'm going to do it at that red. So not that pink isn't cool. So I'm going to go ahead and take my buy there, okay, because I saw this bar. Yes, I probably should have gone ahead and had taken it at this red wick here, but that's not my rule. I do not take a long position on a red bar. I just don't do it, okay? Yes, I could have been in a better position had I done it, but again, rules-based strategy, okay? So let's go ahead and toggle forward. Look what happened. I took that trade and the price immediately went down. I don't freak out because it went down and then it was rejected up. In fact, I get a little bit more confident here. Okay, let's take another one. And then it kind of wicked up and down. It went down. It went down. Okay, I'm not nervous yet. Now, this one might give me a little bit of heartburn. Okay, because you see what happened? Price came up here and it went down and went down. But again, I've already identified that I'm going to set a stop loss under this zone here. We'll get into stop losses and take profits later on. So I'm not panicking. And what happens a lot of times, guys, if you're not going off of a rules-based strategy, people would tend to just jump out of the trade here. Oh, I'm losing money, so I'm just going to jump out. No, you stay true to your trade. And again, you always set a stop loss. Take profit. You can play around with that a little bit, but you always want to set a stop loss, okay? I'll talk about stop losses and take profit in different videos. So let's keep on here. All right, so I had another price rejection there. Red candle, green. And as we toggle forward, guess what? Eventually, it made its breakthrough. This is where I got in at. I was in the negative all the way down here, but then it made its breakthrough, and look at this. Now I'm in the money. So already I am 50. Well, let's just go with that close. I was 53 pips up, and even when it came down, I'm 26 pips. So depending on how much you actually, the volume of your trade, it's looking pretty good. So let's keep on going here and see what happens. Getting down. Then look at this. You see, it's just kind of ranging in and out there. But again, I'm still in profit. So I'm not losing sleep at all. Okay. I'm back down in the negative. Now, what I probably would have done when it broke below my price, but I saw another red candle and then a green one, I probably would have taken another position, which would have averaged me down on this one, and I've got a little bit better price. I wouldn't have closed this other position here, but I would have taken another one right about here, okay? So let's see what happens. I got two positions now that are both profitable, all right? And honestly, guys, I would have already hit my take profit and closed these trades out already. But just for purposes of this demonstration, I'm not doing that. But I would have already cashed out on these already. Okay. And so it's just bouncing on along down here, bouncing on. I'm being patient. I'm still in profit. I'm not losing any sleep. I've got two trades that are making me money. All right. And then look at that. Boom. Had a big price spike up there. I guarantee you, as it went up here, I was out of these positions, okay? But again, for purposes of this, I just want to show you kind of how I made my decision off of a level of support that I drew when I first started looking at this. Okay, now look at this. Because I stayed in it, guess what? It fell through and just the whole world changed. Now, I was definitely taken out of this because my stop loss would have been set right here at the bottom of this, okay? So I took out, I would have been out of this if I was stupid enough to stay in, which I wouldn't have been. But look at that. It did rebound back and the price came back up. And guess what? It went up to the same point. So had I not had a stop loss there, which I would have, then the price would have recovered. But again, guys, the key in this lesson, I just want to show you what you do when the price enters into your zone. Okay. So let's go back to this one that I drew earlier. This other zone, let's say I got an alert here, okay? What I would be looking for is the same thing, but the opposite way. I'd be looking for green bars going into the price, very similar to what you see here, but it just didn't get up to that zone. And then red bars, subsequent red bars, pushing the price back down, or green bars continuing all the way through, okay? So at the end of the day, guys, listen, it's all subjective. You just have to use price action. You have to use what the story that's being told to you to make your decisions. Don't fill in the blanks on the story. The prices are going to be there. Again, I didn't cover price, candles and wicks and all that stuff like that, because I want to give this to you in kind of in baby bits and pieces. But once you put it all together, then you'll understand it's all built around a comprehensive set of rules that I follow in order to make my trades. But that was a very, very profitable trade. And like I said, in fact, let me just jump back into that chart real quick. That was a trade that would have made, because I would have been out right about here. But guys, look, I picked up 100 pips, okay? And my stop loss was would have been set at around 75. So that's basically 3 to 4 risk to reward. That's fine. I would have picked, even if I did half that, I picked up 50 pips. So the key is just making sure that you adhere to a rules-based strategy. You let the price action tell you the story. You don't try to fill in the blanks yourself. And if you do that and you do it over and over and over again, and I would highly suggest on a higher time frame, you'll find yourself being a lot more successful. Guys, if you like these videos, I like doing them, and people seem to like them so far. So I want you to get on that train. So please hit that like and subscribe button so we can keep kicking these out for you. If you have anything specific you'd like me to cover, feel free to put that in the comments, and I'll get right to it. Guys, I really appreciate you so much. We're growing this channel. We're having a lot of fun. See you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.